The White House Ballroom, the underground surveillance center, is child's play compared to what I'm about to tell you about. They've already set up the scariest surveillance apparatus that I've ever seen, and it's being deployed, and I don't think enough people know about it to stop it, but we can stop it. I went to follow the money on Flock cameras because I had been hearing about them and I wanted to learn more about them and see what was going on. So as I do, I follow the money. If you're new here, I spent 20 years in intelligence. I now follow the money, uncover fraud, corruption in nonprofits, corporations, politicians, people trying to screw Americans. You can find my deep dives on Substack, and it's free to subscribe. All right, so Flock are the actual cameras. They're not the game cameras like I actually thought, the ones that monitor birds. The name of the company is called Flock Cameras. It was born, I think, 2018, 3 Georgia Tech students. One of them was a victim of a crime, and he found out that, hey, license plates are pretty much the linchpin in catching a criminal. And then Flock was born. And it's in 5,000 towns, and there's over 80,000 cameras now across the United States. And it's meant to catch crime. However, since the past 2 years, they've started to add accessories to their Flock cameras. And those accessories aren't like bracelets. Think of them as more electric dog collars. And they're taken innocent capability to catch criminals, and they start turning it into something that gets pretty nefarious pretty quick, and that's what I found in my Follow the Money. So let's go through the different parts of it. Your Flock cameras are your cameras that are attached to light poles, pretty much, and they trace license plates. But they've gotten an AI capability since, and they can also tell just by dents on your car or scratches or bumper stickers, which, by the way, don't ever have bumper stickers on your car, please. Just personal security things, but they'll trace the car via that now, not just license plates. Okay, great, you're gonna catch criminals. Great. Well, then Flock was like, well, I'm gonna buy a drone company. And now what happens is it can hear someone scream, or a camera says you need to deploy, there's a crime, and it automatically deploys a drone that can surveil the car or whatever it's chasing 2,000 feet up in the air. Well, now let's talk about its other dog collar apparatus called Nova. Nova is an accessory that goes onto the Flock cameras, but it tracks you as a person. It turns your license plate into everything about you. So you're driving along, and the Flock camera that has this Nova apparatus on it, well, all of a sudden, it's not only does this car and this license plate belong to this person, but this person is married to this person and has these kids and lives in this place, and here's their phone number. Everything about you, your pattern of life, everything. An investigation just a year or two ago found that Nova didn't just pull from open source or legal data sets. It pulled from the dark web as well, which includes your social security number, your bank information, your email that was leaked, your password that was leaked. So now they have all of that and can do whatever they want, technically. And you're like, they would never do that. Well, a cop in Texas was found searching Flock database for had an abortion, woman. And when he didn't like the results when it turned 1,800 results, he's excited to expand it into different states where abortions were legal, by the way. So now he has access to all the Flock cameras. That should scare the out of you. But it gets better. As I do when I follow the money, I start to put together a puzzle, right? It's an analytical puzzle. It's how is everything connected? And when I started looking at these surveillance companies, and I was like, well, Flock's getting a little weird. Who's their investor? Because it's starting to look nefarious. Well, their investor, Andreas Horowitz, one of the first investors, the biggest investors in Flock cameras. Well, I've heard that name before because I've done a lot of research on Ehud Barak, J.E.'s best friend who lived in his place. Ehud Barak was also the prime minister of blue and white country and probably the most decorated military intelligence person that they've ever had. Well, he created 3 companies, and I recognized Andre Horowitz because he invested in Toka. If you want to go back and look at my videos on Toka, you can. It's very scary. But Toka is the company that Ehud Barak had that he helped sell to our intelligence agencies that can go into any live camera and alter footage in real time. Or past, doesn't matter. It can take things away. It can create fake footage, whatever. It doesn't matter, and leave no forensic evidence. Andreas Horowitz, well, he was an investor in Toka. Ehud Barak also is the co-founder of Carbine that has since been sold, but it's the 911 system that when you call 911, it can get into your microphone, it can get into your camera, it can know your exact location. Well, they've also sold this technology to the cars that are about to spy on us. That's this. I'm going to show you how all this connects. Because if you think about it, we have a surveillance system that already exists, run by corporations, okay? Like, where's the privacy? Getting all of our data, knowing everything about us, connected to a company through an investor, the biggest investor, that can alter any footage they want, and then you've got a drone involved, you could technically make someone a criminal. And here's how they all connect. Well, the companies, you have Andreessen Horowitz up there, and you also have Peter Thiel. Peter Thiel's founders fund, well, they also invested in Flock and Carbine. So we've got Carbine, Toka, all connected to Flock through large investors. Okay. Nothing to see here though, folks. I'll put this graphic on my Substack for you guys. All right, stay tuned for part 2 where I'm going to tell you about their competitor that used to work with Flock, that now branched off, and they're doing their own thing, and now they can track our Bluetooth devices. And the company is from an Italian military defense company. We've got like spy competitors for the United States. Stay tuned.